It's another one of MotoGP's double-header races. This time, though, not due to COVID, due to cancellations in the calendar. Welcome back to the World Circuit. Marco Simoncelli here in Misano for round 14 of the World Championship. The green light is about to go on and we are about to get underway for this practice session here at Misano, and there it goes. So, who's going to be first out? Well, this is what we've got at the moment. A damp circuit is going around as well. It's a bit of an interesting setup as to what we're actually going to see. It's a free practice session, so nobody wants to head out and risk having problems. We're looking at Jack Miller. Big news here is that he has now been confirmed to be joining the Pramac Yamaha squad for the 2025 season. Prima Pramac Ducati is the current name, but Pramac Racing next year will have Yamaha bikes, factory Yamaha bikes, and that is where we're going to see Jack Miller next year. So good news and thumbs up. Honda losing Repsol at the end of the season. They're testing out new liveries as well. Luca Marini out there with the blue Honda badge on as well. And this weekend is a bit of an irrelevance in many respects because we've been here all before. This is a circuit which we have done an entire weekend at. We even did an entire test day here as well. If you were watching on JBMotorsports as well, you knew that we're going there as well. So, yeah, if you watched on JBMotorsports the test session, you know how that day went. It was raining in the morning, not much happened. In the afternoon session, we saw more action as well that we covered. So, yeah, that's how it goes. But now, this is Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Now, this is how it's going to work this weekend. All the action is going to be on JBMotorsports 2. The main race is also going to be on JBMotorsports on Sunday, so we'll simulcast that action for you. The sprint race, this is how the commentary is going to work as well, because we've got very much a difficult weekend with Formula 1. Free practice 1, I'm here for 25 minutes. Megan then is here for the last 15 minutes of the session to take you through it. Then, free practice 2, Megan's going to take you through the first half hour. I'm back for the last half hour, sort of a trade-off between us two up here in the comms box. Then, free practice 2 tomorrow, qualifying 1, I'm with you. And then we'll be moving up to Combox B for qualifying 2, but I'll be with you for that, while Megan does free practice 3 of Formula 1. The Tissot sprint race, Megan will be commentating on that session as well, so the race coverage of the sprint will be from Megan, leading the commentary. So you're in safe hands as well. Ian Birch will also join her in the commentary box as well with a microphone. And then also, we are going to have on Sunday, me and Megan both together in this commentary box commentating on the race. So we would have done the same for the Tissot sprint, but the sprint directly clashes with qualifying for Formula 1 Singapore Grand Prix. So they've moved the race time 2 hours earlier than what the sprint was, but it doesn't really work. It still affects everything. So that's how this weekend is going to work up here in the comms box situation. So, a few riders are heading out there, only 2 at the moment, Pietro Acosta and Brad Binder. Maverick Vinales has come back into the pit lane, so now has Juan Mir as well. So, 2 riders out there of Acosta and Binder. They're all out there at the moment on the wet tyres, bar Brad Binder, who, as we know, is a bit of a wet weather master. He's gone out there, soft front, medium rear compound tyre. The track is drying, track temperature is at 24 degrees, air temperature 21 degrees, partially cloudy as well, 6 km/h wind speed with a 77% chance of rain as well. You can see it building up in the atmosphere. It has not been the easiest weekend of running here. Acosta, a 1:46.177 as well, so we'll be adjusting the 2 times. So yeah, Megan's going to take you through the last 15 minutes of this session as well. She'll be in Combox B, so we'll just basically we'll shift over. You at home shouldn't really see much of a difference as well, so we should all be good. And if you do see a difference, then we apologise. But yeah, we'll just shift over, and you at home should be fine. watching along with us as well. So yeah, all of it on JB Motorsports 2 this weekend. The race on Sunday, simulcast on JB Motorsports and JB Motorsports 2. And that, I think the same going. Yeah, same for now. Every time we're on 2, that's going to happen. We'll simulcast the pair of them for the rest of the season as well. It's a tricky weekend because we keep having to move the MotoGP coverage around, and it's frustrating, but that's how we have to do it at the moment. Acosta then is 1.9 seconds faster as well in that first sector, medium front and rear for wet tyres. Marco Bezzecchi looks like he's heading out on slicks as well. It's a tricky circuit to get right in either condition, but I suppose them's the brakes as they hug that inside line, just taking it nice and careful. Acosta's finding pace all the way around the circuit. Slick tyres though are 9/10 of a second faster. Brad Binder's done a 1:45.279, so an improvement there on the zone as Acosta decides to box, leaving only Binder and Bezzecchi out on the circuit. Bezzecchi, we haven't got his tyre information yet up here in the comms box. I wouldn't be surprised if Binder came in as well. It's not going to be an exciting session, this one, at Misano, as they all get through. Not many people in the grandstands either as well. They had the San Marino Grand Prix 2 weeks ago. Now we've come back here from Misano. And Binder improves to a 1:42.959, 2.3 seconds faster than his previous best. Well, sunshine down at turn 1 and 2. Starting to get something right out there on the monitors. They don't want to risk having some problems, and that's why no one's heading out there. Is Marc Marquez going to win 3 in a row? A question we didn't think we would answer. He's got a shot at it. Not many people are actually happy that the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix is going ahead, and actually MotoGP is not expected to have that much popularity this weekend because a few miles up the road as well, the World Superbike race is going on. The World Superbikes, World Supersport, and the World Women's Circuit Racing Championship as well. The WCR, where our friend and colleague Maddie Patterson is racing with Sepkep Racing. And of course, Mallory Dobbs just finished second in the opening practice session there. Lizzie Whitmore's back as well after her injury at Donington Park. I was there as well. It was not the best of tension moods, let's say that, but she was in good spirits, and she stayed as well for the week and the whole race day as well in order to support Mallory. And yeah, Mallory went second, and Lizzie's getting back up to speed on the bike as well. So wet conditions over there as well. As for Simon, he's, I believe, at Misano today, and yesterday broke his toe. Had to go to the medical centre. So even Simon's injured out there as well. It's all happening out here. Across the line for Brad Binder, it's a 1:38.177. So he's 4.782 faster than Acosta's lap time so far. You can certainly tell that turns 1, 2 and 3 are the dampest parts of the circuit. I'm surprised they're touching the curbs at all out here. As we take a look to Brad Binder, it's almost like you're willing that bike to stay up. You don't want it to go down and have any problems at all. You're just sort of holding it together and hoping all is well, and you're not wanting any mistakes or any problems coming through here. To be fair, now we've started. And also, let's not forget, we've got the British Touring Car Championship this weekend at Silverstone. Jess Ball is going to be taking us through the action of race 2. She'll be alongside me in the commentary box this weekend as well, ahead of the season finale. And that will be at Brands Hatch in 2 to 3 weeks' time. And we'll be trackside as well. We're planning that this evening, getting it all booked. So, yeah, 2 weeks we will be at Brands Hatch, same weekend. I know what you mean, because it's a triple header for MotoGP, so everyone's worried. Basically, this weekend it's a cross between JB1 and JB2. Next weekend, we're on JB1 the whole weekend. And then the following weekend, all MotoGP action will be on JB Motorsports 2 for the action from Japan. Reminder as well that because of the clashes this weekend, there is no live coverage of Moto3 or Moto2's races this weekend. So there's no live coverage from those series. That'll be uploaded to the main JBMotorsports channel tomorrow. No, hang on a minute. I'm thinking it's Sunday. Monday you'll have them as well. Although considering that we all end at 5, it might be an option that we can record them and get them out and premiere them on Sunday. So stay tuned to see how we can do with that. Shouldn't be too long, and it'd be nice to just get them all done and we can just upload them and get them all sorted. It's all getting confusing at the moment because everyone's everywhere at the moment. All the team members are split up everywhere, so it's hard to get everything sorted. And also, the channels are in such a state because we're flying around everywhere. We're just sort of keeping it all sort of congested at the moment, but we'll get it sorted. Here's Marco Bezzecchi ducking in as well out of the last corner, boots it up towards the line. What's the delta? And it's a 139.690. Brad Binder still fastest at the moment. He's looking a second fast as well in that middle sector. Hugs it down the line. Hello to San. Says good afternoon. Always Mark Marquez 93. Good afternoon. Hello. Welcome to. It's morning over here in the UK. 9:55 a.m. What time is it over there? San as well. But good afternoon. Hello everyone. Binder across the line and takes it with a 135.411. So Binder drying the track out for everybody else, getting used to it. Slick's definitely the compound to be on. He is faster and faster. Marco Bezzecchi, 27.231 in that first sector. 0.6 of a second slower than Pedro Costa's lap time there. So he needs to pick up the pace. He too, soft front, medium rear, compound on dry tyres. There's Jorge Martin watching on, giving us a wave. Hello, Jorge. Nobody knows what on earth he was thinking 2 weeks ago in San Marino, going into the pit lane during wet weather conditions when it wasn't wet enough to change over. So, yeah, strange weekend, strange times, but has that lost him the World Championship? Because now it's a balance that keeps swinging around, isn't it? Jorge Martin, 312 points in the World Championship. Pecco Bagnaia is on 305. That's a 7-point swing between the two. Marc Marquez now only 53 points back. It's not out of the realms of possibility that Marc Marquez could win this World Championship. We're getting now into the flyaway races and we're going to the circuits where he is so good at, if he has a good motorcycle underneath him as well. Indonesia next weekend, then followed by Japan, then it's then we go over to Thailand, then it's Australia, Malaysia, and the season rounds out in Valencia. There's so much more to look forward to, and we can't wait next week to be in Indonesia. Me and Megan have been waiting for the Indonesia Grand Prix to come back as well, because it's now a lot later in the season. So next week, the night races begin, and me and Megan are, well, we've got the coffee ready, let's just say that, as Brad Binder sliding around at turn 8 on the underside. Yeah, it's touching it carefully. So Binder just taking it with ease. But yes, we are all set for Indonesia in a week's time. We'll be live on JB Motorsports for the whole of the weekend, and we hope to see everybody there as well for the action. I'm so looking forward to the night races. I know I shouldn't. It's tiring, but you work in the night for just a couple of hours, and then you have the entirety of the day free. When it's really going to hit me, however, is Japan. When it's the end of the triple header of night races, and I then have to go from a Grand Prix at 6 a.m. of Japan, and then probably get like another hour and a half sleep, and then I have to get up and head to Brands Hatch for a whole day of British touring cars. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, that's going to be fun. Also, I will be, even though I won't be in the commentary box, I will be commentating on the Japanese Grand Prix. Megan is going to stay here in this commentary box, run the stream, and I'm going to join via Discord. So basically it'll be Megan at the top screen, and I'll be at the bottom screen below where the blog is, and I'll be commentating from there. and I'll be watching the same TV pictures and hearing the same action as I usually do. So it's going to be a pretty interesting weekend, the fact that I'm going to be on location in commentating on MotoGP at Brands Hatch for the Japanese Grand Prix. And Megan is back here in the comms box in the UK. It's an interesting situation, and one that me and Megan are actually quite looking forward to. And we will be live for Moto 3 and Moto 2 as well. So Megan has got the whole evening in the comms box with me before we head over. So yeah, it's going to be fun. 134.349 for Brad Binder, then he top, Marco Bezzecchi second, Pedro Costa in third position. Looks like Bagnaia is getting ready to leave onto the circuit now as well. And he'll jump out. I take it very carefully. I presume he's got soft front, soft rears. Oi, Brad Binder twitching like crazy coming downhill into turn 11. The bike shaking, just got the damp patch, and he had to sort of control it. Andy Patterson's just tweeted fire emoji. Ironic, but I want to know why. Presumably this is going to be for second place for Mallory in that opening session. Not that we can see yet. Oh well, it'll load in a second. Binder up towards the... Oh, here we go. Binder across the line. And it's a 134.212. Oh, okay. So FP1 done and dusted with Mallory finishing the session in P2. Not without leading first as well. Technical disruption to Lizzie's bike, resulting in her finishing in 23rd. Supol is at 2:10. Yeah, right during the middle of the F1 session as well, but we will be watching that one as well. So, great job over there. Can't wait. Next year we're covering World WCR as well, and that's going to be so much fun. It is going to be so much fun. I'm actually really hoping that WCR stays on the World Superbike calendar and doesn't get pushed over to MotoGP. For the simple reason is that I absolutely love the Superbike paddock as well. It's such a friendly and open place, and I really want it to stay there for a while. And then, because there'll be a Donington, I can go trackside and get some real on-site coverage with the team, live from the paddock at the start of it all, with microphones and everything. Oh, it'd be fantastic, wouldn't it, as well? It really would. So yeah. Plus, I think we'll all be going around on Sepket Racing anyway, so it'd be quite entertaining, the fact that all of a sudden I'm there with a microphone and I'm only on one side of the I'm only interested in one team. I'm joking, I'll go around. There's such a friendly bunch though as well. I was speaking to Anna Carasso actually as well at the event for a few minutes as well. And it is such an open paddock, WCI. It's fantastic and it's a wonderful atmosphere as well. Honestly, I can never thank Maddie and Simon enough for that weekend as well. I've said it enough on air, but it's such an open paddock. And the touring cars are the same. And MotoGP also starting to open up a little bit more. It's just starting to feel a little bit more human. Certainly, it's always fun and jokes. World Superbikes, though, fantastic. All of them. Everyone up for a chat. Everybody up for a conversation. Same with the touring cars, actually, as well. I can't wait to get to the touring cars, the last race of the season. San says, looks like it will be difficult for Marc Marquez 93 race this weekend at Misano without the rain. Hopefully we get into the top three. Well, there is rain predicted throughout the weekend. We've had some heavy flooding in the region as well here of Emilia-Romagna. So I'm not going to be... I wouldn't be too surprised if it's a wet race come Sunday. Like it's a proper wet race. I would not be surprised. So we'll keep an eye out, but remember, Mark did well in dampish conditions last week. Won the race, so let's see what we can do. With this being a free practice session and times not counting towards anything, not many people are heading out onto the circuit. Fabio Quartararo just leaving the pit lane now. Miller, Quartararo, Augusto Fernandez, Brad Binder, they are the only drivers out there on the circuit. Binder's across the line and does a 133.843. So a little bit of give and take between them all at the moment. Binder, Bezzecchi, Miller, Acosta, they're your times. Vignales just done an 18 as well, same as Quartararo. They're starting to come out. So we're getting towards the time now where the riders will be getting ready for the session as well, and just shaping up and flying right as we look at the wonderful drone shot then coming down the start-finish straight here. And some news that also happened yesterday. Balaton Park in Hungary is to be included on the 2025 MotoGP calendar. Now, we say that, but it was supposed to be the backup event this year, and we've ended up racing here at Misano. It was supposed to be on the calendar in 2017. It never appeared. 2003, never appeared. 2000, never appeared. So, motor racing in Hungary, we announce it, but we never race it. So I'm expecting a triple header between the Hungarian Grand Prix, the Grand Prix in Kazakhstan, and the Grand Prix at the Circuit of Wales as a triple header. So yeah, and it does look like we're getting a few more races added onto the calendar, doesn't it? I mean, we've got Brno returning next year. We've got there's just so many races on next year's calendar that are brand new that are going to be like, okay, we're really going up to 20. Argentina might be returning, however, with disputes in that region, I doubt we're going to have the Argentine Grand Prix at Termas de Rio Hondo anytime soon. But we need to get a calendar out because MotoGP is actually the only calendar that hasn't been released for 2025 that we cover. We cover 15 motorsport series events. Every single one of them has a calendar out. Formula 1 has been out since April. So it's MotoGP that we are waiting for, and it is taking so long to get a calendar out. It's getting just a tiny little bit embarrassing as to what we're going to be witnessing. We know drips and draps. We know when the British Grand Prix is going to be on the most stupid weekend of the year in May. It's just all over the place at the moment as to who is going to be where and when. Brad Binder on a 133.843. Miller, Augusto Fernandez, Marco Bezzecchi, Pedro Costa. They are your top five at the moment. Julian says, I don't think so. Mark has pace. His race that record in this proves last time he needs to get a good qualifying result as well. I think we can now put to bed is Marc Marquez ever going to be back? Because he is back, and he has been back for quite some time. I said when he first won the race in Aragon, don't call it a comeback, he's been here for a while. And that's true. I think when Marc Marquez came back, he had a proper gumption about him, but that Honda he was riding last year just wasn't good enough. He had to override the bike, and then he crashed. He came over to Ducati, he overrode that 23 bike a couple of times trying to keep up with the 24, but when we go to circuits that are either wet or have no data on it, like at Aragon, he gets a level playing field. Aragon was fantastic because it was a level playing field where there was no GP23 data that the GP24 could download, so there was nothing. So it was a level playing field, and he got the best advantage. He knows that circuit well. What happened last weekend, he was fast throughout, had a bad qualifying, and then got better in the race and got the advantage because he used the conditions. So yeah, I completely agree with you, Julian. If Marc Marquez can nail the qualifying result in Emilia-Romagna on Saturday, he would be right up there. And also, remember, he needs to get the sprints right as well. Marc Marquez doesn't tend to throw it in the sprints, but if he's now seriously considering himself for a world championship, as we look now at Marc Marquez down the pit lane, he's 53 points back. He could win on a Gresini, and then everybody could fear him going into 2025 when he jumps 2 years ahead on that Ducati bike cycle onto the GP25, and he will more than be a match for this man here, Pecco Bagnaia. Bagnaia, in my opinion, is a very fast rider. He is World Championship material, but in my opinion, he's only world champion because he's looked out on the fact that Marc Marquez got injured, didn't have a very good bike, and is now currently stuck on the GP23. Bagnaia and Martin both do not show me throughout the season that they are world championship material. Bagnaia has shown me on 3 occasions that he is a great, with some fantastic moves, fantastic dive bombs, fantastic skill in domination. But right now, it's a yin and yang between Martin and Bagnaia in the World Championship. And this constant crashing, when both of them just need to stay calm, and keep it on the road is getting a little bit silly, and it's costing them. And that is where Marc Marquez on a 2-year-old bike is well, it's a year-old bike, but it's coming up to 2 years, isn't it now, for the end of the development cycle, because the GP23 isn't being updated, whereas the GP24 is. So it's 1.5 years back at this point in time. If Marc can catch up to them in the championship with 7 races to go, it calls into question Bagnaia as a world champion and Martin as a rider. The pair of them, it really does. So, yeah, I'm very excited for the end of this season, especially if we get to Australia, where it's a Marquez, Bagnaia, Martin sort of super hole between the three. I'm expecting all three of them in Australia to be, proper knocking 7 bells out of each other. Garage43 says, greetings, Joshua. Greetings to you. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world as well, watching on here as well. It's 10 past. So that means that we have to move over. So for a few minutes then, I'm going to hand you over to TNT on the commentary feed.
Third person, a joker in the pack, which is Marc. It's going to liven things up a little bit over these last 7 races. I think, well, we've got 14 races actually with 7 sprints, seven feature races. A lot of points on the table and very different racetracks to deal with. So yeah, I think we're going to be treated to a spectacle at the end of this season.
I think we are. Fingers crossed. Courtesy of this man, who was obviously testing with everybody, and they tested a new Michelin front tyre last Monday, which Pecco seemed to be a big fan of, eventually coming out and saying how much he liked it. But we had the news this morning that it's not going to be used next year, which is quite interesting. It needs to be further developed, and there needs to be more tests before it can be used.
Yeah, I've got to say that is a big shock when I heard that before I came into the commentary box, because this tyre, by the way, has been coming since before COVID, believe it or not. It has. Obviously, then COVID halted everything, and then it became apparent. Obviously, Sylvain Guintoli has been doing some. I don't know if he's still doing some testing for Michelin, but obviously with testing the front, it's been ongoing for a long time. So for that announcement, all I could say, and I've not spoken to anyone about this, is we're well aware that they tested it here last Monday, and the feedback in general, it was mixed. I mean, Pecco absolutely loved it. It had a different feeling, but all I could say is when they've got back to the factory and checked the tyre, clearly they're not happy with, Michelin aren't happy with what they're seeing, because they're trying to build a tyre to make it obviously safer, to make the racing better, to try and cure this overheating problem. So it's one of two things. They've not achieved what they were trying to achieve, so maybe the pressure went up sky high, just like the original tyres.
So Megan is currently standing by. So as we keep an eye out on everything as well, just keeping on to the prospect of it all, Megan is standing by up in the commentary box. So we're going to hand over to her now, ready for the final 17 minutes of the session.
Quickly. There's an ad up on mine. So, hello! And there is an ad on my screen, so yeah, so if Joshua can quickly fix it for me. Hello. And there are 17 minutes left of the session, and the Yowers is doing well. That is so nice to see Aprilia actually doing well this weekend so far. I mean, it is only day one. I mean, what can you expect from day one? But Binder is currently in second. Quartararo is in third at the moment. And it's fixed, so thank you for that. And it's... Right, well, currently looking at Bagnaia going round in sector 3. He is 4 tenths behind the pace. And it's... Oh, as he's entered sector 4... Like, yeah, okay. Just getting a little bit of information. So, Bagnaia, when he went into sector 4, he was a whole second down, so I don't know what's happened in the end of that third sector to make him lose 6/10. Though his time comes out as a 1:34.610. That is a whole second off the pace of what Vinales is doing. Currently Martin is going on the track and he's estimated going into 10th, and he is about the same amount of time down as where Bagnaia was in the third sector, though he only is down 6/10 by the end of sector 3, still estimated P10. Though speaking of someone actually doing well, Quartararo is 2/10 up on the time, so he is estimated currently in the same place as what Martina Bagnaia was. He's estimated probably to go first, and he's gaining time and actually doing well. And at the end of that third sector, he's actually still 2/10 like up on Vinales' time, and he is estimated P1 so far. Fernandez, Augusto that is, has gone in to third. Ralph Fernandez is entering the pits, and Fabio Quartararo stays in second with a 1:33.339, and that's Yamaha saying they are working on a V4 engine. So I imagine there must have been some problem that I'm not currently aware of before, and that's Marc Marquez leaving the pit lane right now. Looking at Martin. Now, he seems to be doing a lot better on his second run. He seems to only be about 47 thousandths off the pace of what Vinales is doing. Quartararo still is like 3/10 up in that area. Quartararo right now in this session is speeding through it, and he's estimated to go at P1 again. Kind of lost it in that final sector last lap, but Quartararo is looking to do amazingly well so far. 3/10 up on the time of Vinales right now, but let's look at Martin. I'm just looking on here, so Martin's kind of just doing average right now. I mean, I think he must be just getting the feeling of the track this session, so that must be why he's not doing as well. Quartararo still 3/10 up on the pace of Vinales' time, and goes top with a 1:33.013. That is a brilliant time for Quartararo. Vinales enters the pits, and Bagnaia is 1.6, almost 1.7 seconds off the pace of Quartararo. What is going on? I'm hoping and assuming that they are just getting the feeling of the track so far, or at least this early on in the session, and might go for it a bit more later on in the session or in the next session. Whichever. I just really hope that's what's happening and there's not an issue that they're both having, because that would actually really liven up the championship. That might actually be quite entertaining. But Aleix Espargaro goes up into 5th position now, and she's just about to cross the line. It's Marc Marquez about to cross the line, starting his lap after getting his slow lap done to warm up his tyres. And he's the only one that seems to be doing much. Oh! Martin has actually managed to get into 3rd place with 7/10 off the pace. So at least he's improving by at least 5/10. So he must just be trying to get the feel of it, and now he's actually trying to see how fast he can go. So, Marc Marquez, surprisingly, given his quite dominant over the last couple of races, he's 1.3 seconds off the pace of Quartararo. Costa goes into 3rd with a 1:33.357. Martin down by a whole first 10. Why did I say it like that? It's so strange to say. Though entering into the 3rd sector now, Marquez is down at almost 2/10. I'll give it to him. He is only on his first lap, so I'll give that to him. it's still an adjustment going round. He must be on a slow lap. He must have decided to do 2 instead of just 1, because he is 2.6 seconds down entering that 4th sector. But 8 tenths down for Martin entering sector 4. What is it with that last sector? It's the beginning of sector 4 and the end of sector 3 that seems to be throwing them all off. There must be something around that sector that's just slowing them all down, because as he crosses the line, Martin is 1.1 seconds off of the time of Quartararo. Acosta is estimated second with only 9 thousandths of a second off the pace. Vinales goes, it's him coming out of the pit lane. For a minute I thought it was him like going into second, though. I just realised he's still second. So Acosta goes into second with a 1:32.921. And that is Quartararo entering the pit lane. And it's 10 minutes left to go of the session. D'Antonio goes 4th with 1:33.465. Only nearly 6 tenths off of the pace. That is brilliant from D'Antonio, especially given the R46 is not doing as well last race. As far as I can remember, it was either last race or the race before that. They were not doing as well, and actually everyone who had something to do with Rossi seemed not to be doing that too well. That appears to be, is that Bastianini or Bagnaia? That is Bagnaia heading out of the pit lane now. Maybe he can give it a go with it, because where is he on the time? Oh, and I'm not going to see that. We're looking at turn 11 for some reason right now. Here's a replay of Bagnaia going on turn 11. Is this what's catching everyone up? We're just seeing him go round the corner. He seems to be doing quite good speed, so I don't think it is what's catching everyone up. Maybe that's a speed trap. I'm not so sure of the speed trap. Oh, a little bit of air for Acosta there. Acosta goes top with a 1:32.750. That is a whole tenth up on Quartararo, so Acosta is certainly looking to get some very good practice in. Right, 8.5 minutes left to go. D'Antonio goes third with a 1:33.331. That's a lot of 1s and 3s. It's like he's trying to just like appease Acosta, whose number is 31. Also, I feel like I'm way too low in this chair. I feel like I need to be up more, though. Yeah, I can't. Marc Marquez goes 14th, though he is currently... I think he's currently estimated to get a really good time. Acosta's estimated to beat his own time by 3 thousandths of a second. Oh, Marc Marquez goes third with a 1:33.198. See, there's a Mark who's been dominating things this weekend. Well, not this weekend. Last weekend. Weekend before that. Race. Let's just go back. I don't know my times. I'm very tired. I went to uni 2 days in a row, 7.5 hours. Tired. I'll tell you that. Don't know how... I don't know how the teachers do it, to be honest. Acosta is now almost 2 tenths up in his own time. 0.188 up on his own time, and ends up with a 10th up on his own time with a 1:32.618. Currently the top 3 are first Acosta, second is Martin, and Quartararo is in third, but he's currently in the pit lane. Right, let's look at where Bagnaia is. Bagnaia is down in 16th place. He is 1.5 seconds off the time of what Acosta is doing. For a person who's in the fight for a championship, I know this is only like a practice session, but he should be getting as much practice as he can out there, and he's just not seeming to give it that edge. And I don't know why. Acosta, for once, is actually down this time, but only by 32 thousandths of a second. Who knows? Acosta might actually win Now he's up by 26 thousandths of a second. But Martin is up almost 2.5 tenths of a second on Acosta's time, and he's estimated to go top position, whereas Bagnaia is almost 5 tenths down on Acosta's time. Martin goes top with a 1:32.260, whereas Bagnaia is only estimated 8th. I'm thinking already that this weekend may go the way of Martin, or hopefully Acosta. Acosta, I think, really deserves a win. Bagnaia goes up into 6th position with a 1:33, and I missed that. So can I look on here? Yes, 1:33.257. Here's a replay of what's Acosta doing. Hits the curb a little bit. Round turn 11 again. Oh, it's touching the green. That's what it. That must be what Bagnaia's last one was when we had a replay of that. Touching the green. So obviously that's going to be a issue during the race and the rest of qualifying. Well, qualifying tomorrow and practice sessions. That's obviously going to be an issue that people are facing. Marc Marquez is only 1 tenth down, whereas Martin is 1 tenth up on his own time. So Marc Marquez is estimated 2nd position. See, Marc's really got his edge back since he won 2 races ago, I think. I feel like he won that one and he realised, yeah, I can do this, I'm back in the game. And then he won a second one and was just like, definitely back in the game. I think his shoulder has finally healed enough that he can actually race and feel like, yeah, I can do this. Martin goes top on his own time again by a whole 10th of a second with a 1:32.145. I did not know how long that time would stay on the screen, so I really had to rush through that time just then. I feel like sometimes reading out the times, I could be like an auctioneer with how quickly you have to read out the times. Never actually thought about that before. That's actually really interesting. Being an auctioneer. Bagnaia starts another lap. Hopefully this lap will be better than all these other laps. 4 minutes left to go on the clock. And Marc Marquez is only 67 thousandths down from Martin's time. And I saw on this timing screen just then, someone moved up. So who's about to move up on the screen? I do not know. I know Mia's just moved up into 18th. Oh, it was Augusto Fernandez going into 8th position with a 1:33.297. Bagnaia, 3 tenths down. Yeah, 3 tenths down now. For a minute, that's what it changed to 4. I was like, wow, it's really not his day. He's estimated P4 to replace Jack Miller. But honestly, where is his pace? Where is his pace gone? A few races ago, he was really battling for that championship. I mean, still is. But his pace just seems to have evaporated currently in this session. I know it's only a practice session, but practice sessions, I like to think, give you kind of like an input of what they're going to be like for the rest of the weekend. Because at the start, they're kind of like, they're sandbagging at the start. They always are. Well, most of them. Bagnaia does a 1:32.657, goes 4th as predicted. Goes a little bit off the track there. That's something to look about, I would say. Keep note of that. He didn't even seem to have that much of a problem. It seems like he might have overestimated how much he had of a corner. It seems like that. 2 minutes left to go of the session. So I find that practice sessions like near the end really give you an insight to how much people are going to go for it this weekend. Given the fact that Marquez is currently 14 tenths of a second, off the time of Martin. Practice sessions give you that insight and you think, this person is not doing as well. They are failing at this end, and obviously we're going to work through that. Here's a replay of Marc Marquez going onto the green. Turn 11 again. Turn 11, that is just going to prove to be a very big issue, I think, this weekend. Gonna see so many track limits. Hold on. Gotta Okay, well that's doing that thing. The screen's gone a little bit dark, but 1 minute left of the session. Now it's gone completely dark. I can turn it off in a minute when I stop streaming. Right, so a minute left on the clock, and as I was saying, it gives you an insight to what they're going to be like, and I feel like you can already get an impression of who will win. And right now, the people who are looking to be strongest are the top 3, actually. But Bagnaia is not looking to be as strong as he likes, I think. Because even right now, what is he? He's down. He's down a little bit. I mean, he is improving a little bit, though he's waited too long to try that improvement. 30 seconds left of the clock, and Binder is estimated 3rd position. Marc Marquez is now only 15 thousandths of a second off the time. Now it's 1/10 of a second off the time. Still, that's good for Marc, given where he was like 5 races ago. That is very good. Binder goes 4th. Lost a bit of second, 5 seconds back, 1:32.654. 7 seconds left, and this will be everyone's final laps, I think. Marc Marquez passes and goes into 1st with a 1:32.120. That is 25 thousandths of a second off the time of what Martin did. And speaking of, there's Martin in the pit lane. He's not going back out again, I don't think. Well, obviously, it's end of the session. But Marc Marquez still topping the session, unless anyone else can try and do better. Morbidelli's actually looking better than that time, but Marquez is looking even better than his last time. Right, Bagnaia goes 3rd. Morbidelli, about to pass the line, goes 3rd to replace Bagnaia with a 1:32.268. Marc Marquez is a whole 10th of a second up in his own time. See? Dominating again. He seems to have really got his edge back, and I know everyone will love that. Oliveira goes in to 10th position, and Marc Marquez entering sector 4. Currently only 500 tenths. No, not 500 tenths. Kind of that. 500 thousandths of a second down on his own time. Currently just about to cross the line, and what can he do? 1:32.082. That is 38 thousandths off his own time. So close to those 31s, and going off again a little bit round that corner. What corner is that? I do not know. I'm gonna have to check on the track map to see like what corner they are all suffering at, because I reckon it's either turn 11 or near turn 11. So they all seem to be kind of suffering at that. Here's an actual replay of Marc. Is it actually it is turn 11. It is turn 11 that they seem to all be having trouble at. I reckon it's because it's kind of on a hill. It goes down. People are like, they're not estimating correctly on where they are going, so they're just going off into the green and off the track. Still, practice starts are now happening. So, top of this session is Marc Marquez with a 1:32.082. If he continues his pace tomorrow, like qualifying, I can't imagine how far up the order he'll get. Right, so first is obviously Marc Marquez, second is Martin, and third is Morbidelli. Bagnaia 4th, Vinales 5th. Alex Marquez is 6th, 7th is Acosta, Brad Binder 8th, Quartararo is 9th, and Jack Miller is 10th. I'll only do up to 10th, because, well actually, I might have enough time. Right, Oliveira is 11th, Bastianini is 12th, Aleix Spargo is 13th, 14th is Ralph Fernandez, Augusto Fernandez is in 15th, confusing, D'Antonio 16th, Marini is 17th, Zarco 18th, 19th, Nakagami, Mir is in 20th, Bezecchi is in 21st, and Alex Rins 22nd. But currently looking at Morbidelli doing the times, and since I know that I have to get to the box, I will say goodbye, please go over to the other live stream that is currently going on. I believe it is free practice 1 for Formula 1. I'll just double check that for you right now. And yes it is. Yes it is. So please go over to that now and enjoy that. Everyone's come back into the pit lane now here. So I shall say goodbye and head over to the other commentary box. So please go join the F1 live for free practice 1. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.